Hi guys, good to have you back on the channel. Today I'm thrilled and particularly excited as we will review and reflect upon the main takeaways of The Education of a Value Investor, written by Spier. The book is a fascinating story that unveils the remarkable journey of the author from a high-stakes career on Wall Street to becoming one of the best value investors of our time. The author reflects upon the main experiences and moments that shaped his investment philosophy and his approach to value investing. From a personal standpoint, this book ranks among the top 5 of my personal list because it shaped my mindset and my approach to investing like no other book. I kind of feel a personal responsibility to convey the author's thoughts to you, and I hope I'm up for the job.
But actually, growth, spiritual growth, most of the time happens when there's pain involved. And I actually think that a healthy marital relationship and also a healthy relationship with our children involves friction and pain. It's not supposed to be harmonious. If it's harmonious the whole time, we're not actually growing as individuals. And so the pain for me being around Warren was, first of all, was just, I don't think that my mind will ever have as high a clock speed as Warren's does. And I think there is an element that when you're with somebody who's far younger and far less experienced than you are, then you can appear to have a higher clock speed to that person. You can appear to be more intelligent than you really are because there's this sort of difference of perspective. And I like to tell younger people all the time, you think I'm smart. It's not. It's just that you don't have the experience that I do. But I think that I can correct for that. And even if you take that into account, he has a mind that has an extraordinarily high clock speed.
The author begins by remembering his early days in finance when he was drawn to the high-stakes world of Wall Street. However, a turning point in his career was when he realized that the aggressive and profit-driven culture was at odds with his own value. This triggered a reassessment of his approach in life and the search for a more meaningful alignment and holistic perspective in his job. Central to the author transformation was the role played by Warren Buffett, who became his mentor. Spier did not only admire Warren Buffett for his financial performance, but in particular for his ethics, integrity, and long-term approach. Spier emphasizes the importance of having a mentor, dead or alive, not only to study his past performance, but to put him in your shoes, to ask yourself the question what he would have done in the same situation and try to mimic his approach. Spier founded the Aquamarine Fund, where he mimicked the investment philosophy of Warren Buffett by adopting a value-oriented and long-term capital preservation perspective.
Sort of like finding what is the frequency with which I can resonate in the world, that the world resonates back for me, is a really fluffy idea, but I found it really powerful. And if we just go back to this idea of authenticity, so there was a certain period in New York, I call it my New York vortex, where I was trying to be a big swinging appendage hedge fund manager, and I was trying to resonate with the world in that way. And I'm a smart enough guy that I could do a pretty good job of it. And so the world started resonating back. And in a certain way, I got money into my fund. I got all sorts of, some good things were happening, but it didn't reflect who I was on the inside. And so I couldn't really be authentic about it. And I think that the people who achieve extraordinary things in the world are the people who manage to get the world resonating on the outside. And they also, that's the same sort of resonance on the inside. And you have that amazing statement by Mahatma Gandhi, be the change that you want to see in the world.
The author emphasizes throughout the book the need for individuals and investors as well to forge their own path and to develop their personalized investment strategy. He encourages the reader to constantly seek an alignment with their own value and to understand their weaknesses, strength, risk tolerance, and to develop their approach accordingly. This alignment, he believes, is essential in order to define your inner scorecard and to achieve a long-term success.
What I want to put to you is that you can compound goodwill over time. Cialdini talks in his book, The Psychology of Human Misjudgment, about the power of reciprocation. And he talks about these Hare Krishna people in airports where they're kind of handing out flowers. They're giving out free flowers. And you say, well, why are you giving me a free flower? They say, it's just a gift from us. 10 yards later, there's a place where you can make a donation. And it's just incredibly effective. So I started conducting my own version of that. And I started and it's partly born out of desperation because, the standard routes to career success were now closed to me. I was handing out gifts to the doorman, the person I met in the street. I was writing thank you notes to people.
Spier underscores the importance of intellectual curiosity and ongoing education, especially in the field of investing. However, he emphasizes how it is important to read about everything, not just about finance, as a way to gain diverse perspective and harness critical thinking. The author embraced value investing in a way that goes beyond money and professional development. He writes how he realized in his journey the importance of giving first to people before demanding something from them. In this respect, it is key in the book the concept of compounding goodwill, as Spier explains how he started to write thank you notes to people for what they have done, and the terrific impact that this event had in his life as he started to be less selfish and more honest about the person he is, and how people started to perceive him as a more authentic person, and as an unintended consequences, they started to invest in his funds.
Then if we go to the inside of ourselves, it's just a fiction to say that we're rational. We're rational in very, very limited circumstances. It's a very good assumption to make. But there is so much evidence. I mean, Dan Ariely's book, Predictably Irrationally, we know that we're not rational. So I think that there's this strange thing that happened, and again, it's kind of a tool that I feel is a tool for success, that the minute I recognize my own weaknesses and I'm honest and open and upfront about them, I can start doing something about it. So I think I'm a better investor because I just accept upfront that I'm not rational. I have to deal with it, and then I can do workarounds. I can figure out what I'm going to do to make it better.
One of the central themes in the book is emotional discipline in investing. Spier shares strategy on how to cope with greed and fear, which usually drive impulsive decision, and the importance of staying rational, especially during episodes of market volatility. As an example, Spier explains how he learned from Munish Pabrai, a friend of him, on how not to trade when the market is open. Another example is when the author explains the importance of not speaking about your investment in order not to feel attached and not to have to stay coherent even when your thoughts change. He also reminds the reader the dichotomy between Wall Street, which is rewarded for being active, and the value investor who has to sit inactive if he wants to achieve a long-term success.
My business based on what the conversations that I was having with him. And the biggest change for me in moving to Zurich was that I could make a clean break with what I'd been doing in the past, which was some kind of New York hedge fund model, and do a very, very different model for running my business. So I feel like my father's certainly taught me an enormous amount, but Monish has taught me an equally enormous amount about how to run a business in a way that's fun and interesting and makes sense.
The author reflects on the importance of the environment in his investment journey. In particular, he shares how relocating to Zurich and distancing himself from Wall Street had a terrific impact in his life, as this allowed him to have a more focused and thoughtful approach to investing. He also delves into the importance of having a meaningful relationship in your life, as this can have a terrific impact in your habits. In this respect, he shares the importance for him to have a friend like Munish Pabrai and the experience of shaping an investor group which is used to meet regularly and discuss about investment ideas. In summary, this book does not only provide valuable insight into the world of investing, but also a broader exploration of personal growth, ethics, and pursuit of a meaningful life. In my personal view, this book serves as a roadmap for aspiring investors, emphasizing the importance of authenticity, alignment with personal values, and the importance of a value-oriented approach for building wealth. The truth is that it does not matter how you do this inner journey. What matters is that you do it. Whichever route you choose, the goal is to become more self-aware, strip away your facade, and listen to the interior. The stock market has an uncanny way of finding us, of exposing weaknesses as diverse as arrogance, jealousy, fear, anger, self-doubt, greed, dishonesty, and the need for social approval. To achieve sustainable success, we need to confront our vulnerabilities, whatever they might be. Otherwise, we are building our success on a fragile structure that is ultimately liable of falling down. Many thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. Cheers and see you in the next one.